This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and it's yoga time. This time it's a yoga Android tablet from Lenovo, specifically the Lenovo Yoga Tab 3 8-inch model, as you might guess. Therefore, well, it's a small tablet. It's 8 inches. It has the usual yoga design with the barrel hinge, and on the back here, this kind of pop-out metal stand. Press the release button, and there it is, pops out. You can even use it as a wall hanging device, I suppose, if you want to use it as a photo frame or something like that. It's $169, which is pretty reasonable for an Android tablet. Now, don't expect high-end specs, but at least you get pretty nice build quality and an interesting design and a very bright, colorful display. We're going to look at it now. So here it is, latest generation Lenovo Yoga tablet. This is the Yoga Tab 3 8-inch size. And it's running Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, which is currently the latest version. Okay, Marshmallow is starting to ship on the new Nexus devices, but no other device has Marshmallow just yet. Will this ever get it? I don't know. With Lenovo's budget tablets, they don't put a whole lot of time and money into giving you Android OS upgrades there because you're not paying very much. This is $169. What you do get for that is obviously a very colorful display here. They have a really neat guitar desktop pattern here that shows up how colorful it is and how good the contrast is, and it's also very bright too. So, you know, there's the old adage of user interface that says that the screen is one of the most important parts of the experience because you're going to be looking at it all the time, and if it looks dingy, blah, you're not going to like the device. So, good selling point right there. It has the usual yoga design for Android tablets, and they make Windows tablets like this too. A little push button release here. It takes a little, there we go, push to get it going. And it comes out. Now this is not an infinite position stand. There's the closed position and you can feel it locking in. You can hear it locking in too. So it holds it up at this angle. So we won't be using our usual stump stand that we do with tablets to hold it up because it's got a stand built in. And it has the hanging mode that Lenovo is so proud of. So in theory, you know, you could use this as a photo frame, hang it on the wall. Now these days, since photo frames, let's face it, they're just crappy. I know a lot of people do actually buy Android tablets and use them for that purpose. This is metal. It's nice and it's sturdy. And the back is plastic, but it's kind of a neat finish. It actually looks pretty good. They did a good job of making this not look cheesy given the price right here. It almost looks like, I don't know, like black asphalt or something like that. It's a neat kind of textured pattern, so it's not slippery either. And hidden behind here, there's a little door, not a convenient flappy door, it comes off completely, but that reveals the microSD card slot that's inside there. This is a Wi-Fi only model that we have in the United States. Overseas, you may have a version that does have LTE. This one does not. From the side, it cuts a modern figure, not so different from previous Lenovo tablets. You got your volume controls right over there, your micro USB port as well. This is the power button. Kind of looks kind of classy and not bad. And what we have here is the camera rotating 180 degrees swiveling. You can probably hear it clicking. It has a nice kind of high quality instrument sort of click, which is not bad for the price. So it's both your front and your back camera. So obviously that reduces the cost of making the thing. And also there's no more divide between, well, the front camera quality is not so great and it's lower resolution and the back one always gets the better camera. So in this case, in the era of selfies, I suppose, and video chat too, it counts to have a good camera. 8 megapixel camera. It's, for $169, it's not that great a camera though, folks, let me tell you. It shoots kind of blocky, grainy video. 720p is the highest. You can go with that. In good lighting, it's passable, and that's about all I can say favorably for the camera when it comes to video shooting. Now, photos is actually pretty good, even in low light. It's not bad at all. And in good lighting, it's a good camera, but really it excels, or comes closer to excelling at stills rather than video. We have stereo front-facing speakers here with Dolby Atmos software enhancements, and it's fairly loud for an 8-inch tablet. It's not going to shake your dentures loose or something like that, but the sound quality is pretty good, and they are far enough apart, your drivers here, that you will hear stereo separation. If you're launching something like the Asphalt 8 game where the car goes racing by and you can hear it when you have stereo speakers like this, you'll really notice it. This big barrel affords a 6,200 milliamp battery. That's a very large capacity battery. So that would be one of the selling points versus other budget-oriented Android tablets, say like the Samsung Galaxy Tab A or the old Tab 4 or even the Galaxy Nook. You just can't kill this. It really takes days to kill this thing, even with moderate use, even with playing some Asphalt 8, which is a pretty battery-killing game. The drawback is it's a heavy tablet. This weighs 1.04 pounds. So it's as heavy as an iPad Air 2, which is a 10-inch class tablet. You get the idea there. Is it unwieldy? Is it difficult to hold? No. Will you notice it? Sure. Are you going to use that stand as often as you can? I bet you will. And yes, in case you don't want to use those built-in speakers, there is the usual combo mic headphone jack there. Good for video chats, good for not deranging everybody else around you when you're listening to Twisted Sister or the latest Transformers movie with all those explosions. Obviously, the barrel hinge not only makes it kind of comfortable to hold like a magazine or a book or something like that when you're reading, but it also provides a little bit of an angle if you want to put it on the desk to interact with it. And of course, it has the usual four-way accelerometer to rotate it in the proper direction there. So what aren't you getting, given the fact this is a budget tablet? It has, you know, and Lenovo even tries to avoid mentioning this. They just referred to it by its Qualcomm MSM number instead of the usual retail lingo for Snapdragons. Did you know there was the Snapdragon 200 series? I bet a lot of you don't, because mostly we see the 400s, the 600s, and the top-of-the-line 800s. This is a Snapdragon 212 CPU. That's as low as you can go in Qualcomm Snapdragon CPUs. It is clocked at 1.3 gigahertz. It is a quad-core CPU, so, you know, life could be worse. It has Adreno 304 graphics. This is not for you boy racers who want to play all sorts of killer games on it, but you know what? Just like in the land of laptops and desktop PCs, if you want a game, you're going to have to pay. It's going to cost. But for everyday content used for playing YouTube, all that sort of thing, it's fine. This is a 1280 by 800 pixel display. I know some of you are going to be elitist and say, oh my gosh, it's not like QHD or Full HD or something, but it is an 8-inch panel. And Samsung, for their affordable range of tablets, goes with a similar resolution, although sometimes in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Now, it's fine. You're just not really going to say, my goodness, those pixels are jumping out on me. It's sharp. It's good looking. It's fine for reading ebooks. It's certainly fine for browsing the web as well. And here's what it looks like, in fact, in Google Play Books. Perfectly nice, perfectly sharp. It doesn't take much horsepower to drive an ebook to be nice and fluid when you're spinning pages. And of course, given the spine, you might be tempted to read full pages on it instead. In this view, I know I would, given the fact it's 8 inches. We're not looking at huge pages here. That's like an ideal size for reading books, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty sharp. And we've got Asphalt 8 running right there, so you've got something to look at while I read the benchmarks off to you, and the benchmark numbers will not be impressive, but as you can see, it's capable of playing this game. Gameplay is not stuttery at all. You're not going to get all the visual effects, and it can be a little bit hard to control the card times. Faster CPUs do have an advantage here. So for quadrant 10,157, that's about 1/4 of the fastest devices that you're going to see. Geekbench 3, 334 single core, 1094 multi-core. Yeah, about 1/3 to 1/4 of the fastest devices out there. 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited, 5,352. You're sensing something here, aren't you? A pattern. Again, it's going to be about 1/4 of the fastest device possible. Of course, it costs a lot less than those tablets too, at $400. On Tutu, 19,166. That's about 1/3 or so of the fastest devices. But obviously, if it can do this, heck, it can do just about anything. And these days, CPUs are so fast that it's okay. It has only 1 gig of RAM, though, so I'll warn you about that. Heavy-duty multitasking, you want to manage your apps and close things out if they are starting to bog down. 16 gigs of internal storage, not super fast storage. It took a while for this game to load, for example. Viewing angles on the IPS display are actually pretty good. Studio lighting makes it a little hard to show because we have a whole lot of glare here, but it's not bad at all. Finally, this has single band Wi-Fi, 802.11n. Sorry, no dual band Wi-Fi, no AC Wi-Fi, not in this price range, and you have Bluetooth 4.0. There's no NFC, but there very rarely is on tablets. So it holds up pretty well against the competition, which these days largely means Samsung. Sometimes you'll see an Asus tablet, but for the lower range Samsung tablets, this one comes in a little bit less expensive and not as thin and light, so it depends what you value. If you like the thin and light, then the Samsung would be the one for you. If you like the sturdier build, if you like the built-in stand kind of deal that we have going here, then, well, the Lenovo could be the tablet for you. So that's the Lenovo Yoga Tab 3 8-inch. It's available now $169, which is honestly a pretty great price for a name brand tablet with decent enough specs. If you're looking for something low budget, you don't really want to invest in a $400 Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 or something like that, or an iPad mini. Well, here it is. It's nicely designed, and the speed is actually adequate. The display is very nice. The cameras are okay. And the design, well, it's always kind of useful. It's really hard not to like it. Yoga design with the big battery and the hinge. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.